it's getting better all the time. It couldn't get much worse after last year anyway. So the Beatles release, the big Beatles release for 2025 has just been announced. It's Anthology, which we all knew was coming anyway. But I've got to say, after the last few years, this one, at least it's something decent. I mean, 2023's Red and Blue was just... last year's was atrociously bad. I don't know anyone who bought it. And this year's is... It's not... It wouldn't have been top of my list. I'll get onto the top of my list. I've talked about it enough, but I'll get back onto that at the end of the video. But it's Anthology this year, so I thought I'd quickly go over my thoughts on it, what's included if you don't know. I'd be very surprised if you're watching this video and you don't know, because I don't know, why would you come here to find out your news about the Beatles? But anyway, so yeah, Anthology, the 3 albums are getting reissued with a new one, Anthology 4. So we'll talk about that in a minute. 3 things are getting released: the book, the TV series, and the albums. So we'll go with the book first. That's getting re-released in October. I believe it's getting expanded. I don't own the Anthology book, so I probably will end up picking that up, and probably be the only thing I'll pick up from this. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Probably the most interesting thing of the whole lot for me is the documentary series. Good news is it's been restored. Bad news is they're only putting it out on Disney Plus. You know, the Anthology back in the 90s, it brought in a load of young people, and I think, you know, we're all speculating, this is part of the reason why they're doing it again now, to try and bring in more of my generation. And I have to say, just putting it on Disney Plus is not great if that's what you're trying to do. Get it on Netflix, get it on Prime, get it on every streaming service, because, I mean, I don't have Disney Plus, I only ever get it so I can watch Beatles stuff when it comes out and then I get rid of it. Whereas I have Netflix, I have Prime all the time. Most people have Prime these days, so, you know, put it on things like that where you're going to reach a larger market. They restrict themselves doing this. But anyway, the 8 episodes from the original TV series has been restored by Peter Jackson's team, and the audio has all been remixed and remastered, etc. by Giles Martin. But the exciting part of this is there's a new episode being made, episode 9. I'll read you what it says here. There is now a completely new episode 9, including unseen behind-the-scenes footage of Paul, George and Ringo coming together between 1994 and 1995 to work on the Anthology and reflecting on their shared life as the Beatles. Now, I don't know if that means that it's going to be all the footage. I think it's about 10 hours of footage of them that's never been released, working on both Free as a Bird and Real Love, and I suppose a bit of Now and Then as well. So hopefully, I'm guessing it'll be mainly that footage, because do we really want to sit and watch them in the studio just working out how to compile outtakes and stuff for the main album? I'm guessing that's what it will be, but we'll see. But that will be the main event for me. I think that'll be really good. I've always said, if you want to get into the Beatles and you want to know the story, the Anthology is the place to go. Don't waste your time with the Ron Howard 8 Days a Week documentary. Don't waste your time with, what was that thing? What was it called? Beatles 64. That was what came out last year. That was terrible. It was rubbish. Don't bother with that. Watch the Beatles Anthology. The Beatles Anthology and Get Back are really the only 2 documentaries you need now by the Beatles. So yeah, that's the TV series, and I suppose I said the TV series is the main event, but for a lot of people it'll be the music. So as I said, the 3 original albums, Anthology 1, 2 and 3, they're all getting remastered. They're all getting, yeah, I think it is just a remaster actually. I don't think they've been remixed at all reading this, which it's a bit disappointing if it's true, because you'd hope that the MAL technology would have been used on the likes of In Spite of All the Danger, and that will be the day. But reading this, that hasn't been the case. Now, Anthology 1 actually did leak online last night, and it sounded to me like, and a lot of people on the Steve Hoffman forums were discussing this, that it sounded like it had been restored, remixed, the versions of That Will Be the Day and In Spite of All the Danger. They didn't sound like a normal record. They still sounded really old and crackly, but they did sound a bit better. But reading this, they haven't done anything with them other than remaster them, so I don't know. So yeah, that's not really all that interesting if it's just a remaster. But the interesting part is Anthology 4. So I'll read you what it says here. Anthology 4 features 13 previously unreleased tracks and 17 songs selected from the super deluxe versions of 5 classic albums. In addition to the fascinating outtakes dating from 1963 to 1969, the album includes new 2025 mixes by Jeff Lynne of Free as a Bird and Real Love. We'll come on to them in a minute. Furthermore, Anthology 4 presents 26 tracks that have never been previously released on vinyl. Do you want to know what's on Anthology 4? Let's have a look. I'll share on the screen the full track listing, but from memory, this is the new stuff that I've not seen released before. This Boy, take What are we on? This boy takes 12 and 13. Tell me why. Takes 4 and 5. If I fail, take 11. Matchbox, take 1. Every little thing, take 6 and 7. I need you, take 1. I've just seen a face, take 3. In my life, take 1. Nowhere Man, first version, take 2. What else we've got? Baby, You're a Rich Man takes 11 and 12. All You Need Is Love, rehearsal for BBC broadcast. Fool on the Hill, take 5 instrumental. I Am the Walrus, take 19 strings, brass and clarinet overdub. And Hey Bulldog, instrumental. Everything else on there has been previously released. So that's quite interesting, I suppose. Some of the stuff on there it's not been released before. But again, I know I hate to bang on, but I wish it was Rubber Soul. I've said this the last 2-3 years now. I wish it was Rubber Soul. And I did say in my video when I did the thing about the Red album that they kind of killed a bit of the hype for the, if we do get super deluxe editions and remixes, which is looking less and less likely now, of those early albums. I did say that the Red album kind of killed off some of the anticipation for that because, well, for Rubber Soul, for example, half of Rubber Soul was remixed for the Red album. So that means we've heard half of it unless they're going to remix it again. And now they're starting to put out outtakes from these early albums. And it's like, well, that's more stuff getting released, which kills off even more of the anticipation for if we get super deluxe editions. But that's a story for another day. Because the main event, the real main event for me on here is the remixes of Free as a Bird and Real Love. So I didn't know until I read this that it's actually been remixed by Jeff Lynne. I would assume that Giles Martin did it, but Jeff Lynne's actually done it. So same thing as with Now and Then, they've demixed John's original demo. And then it's separated the piano and the vocal, so we now have a clear John vocal. And yeah, that's what they've done to Free as a Bird and Real Love. Now, Free as a Bird, if you want to hear it, you can. It's online now. It actually leaked last night on Instagram. I heard it on there. But it's now available properly on streaming, so you can go and listen to that. I'll be honest, first time I listened to it, I didn't like it. And it's grown on me a bit. I think I will grow to like this version, but I wish they'd put a little bit of reverb or double track John's vocal, because it kind of feels a bit out of place with the rest of the song now, because obviously the rest of the song was built around the idea of trying to hide the imperfections of the original mix. But here we are. Yeah, now obviously vocals up above the original mix, and unfortunately as well, George and Paul's harmonies also kind of get drowned out now. But we'll see. There's not a Dolby Atmos mix of it online that I've seen so far, which is a surprise. But yeah. So, Free as a Bird, the remix, it's worth a listen. I hope that they put it out as a 7-inch single, Free as a Bird and Real Love, or an EP with Free as a Bird, Real Love and Now and Then on. Now and Then is on at the end of this Anthology 4. Interestingly as well on the Anthology, on the albums here, both the original 90s mixes and the new mixes of Free as a Bird and Real Love are included. But Real Love is the one I'm really interested in, because that, to me, of the 3 songs, that's the best one. It always has been my favourite. I really like Real Love. It's one of my favourite Beatles songs, period. So, yeah, I'm really excited to hear that one. Anyway, the price. The price, yes. If you want it with some photo cards, the vinyl, it's £320. Or if you want it without the photo cards, it'll be £310. The book's 40 quid. It's a lot of money, that, and they've been very, very clever, because I own all 3 Anthology albums on vinyl. The only one I'm interested in really in getting is Anthology 4, and guess what, they're not selling it up here standalone. You have to buy the box set if you want Anthology 4. Apple know full well what they're doing with that. So yeah, that is a shame, but I can't say I'm surprised. If you want the CD, by the way, with the pictures, it's 100 quid. Without the pictures, it's 90 quid. So yeah, if you want pictures, you know what to do. Go and buy the pictures. Buy the more expensive one. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to say. I won't be buying the box set this year because I can't justify paying 310, 320 quid just for 26 on vinyl, unreleased tracks before. I don't. If it was Anthology 4 on its own, if they do release Anthology 4 as a standalone, I will probably buy that on vinyl, but otherwise, I'm just crossing my fingers that we get a 7-inch single of Free as a Bird and Real Love. That's all I would need physically, and the rest of it I will make do with on streaming this year. So there we go, there's our 2025 Beatles box set. It's considerably better than last year's. If anything would be better than last year's. In fact, releasing nothing this year would still have been better than last year's. It's better than the red and blue, but it's still not Rubber Soul. Come on, Apple. Apple aren't stupid. They know we want Rubber Soul. They don't employ a bunch of old pensioners who've never been on the internet. They will employ people of multiple generations. They probably employ a few people who are my age, 27, who will be fully aware online what Beatles fans are saying. So there we go. Hopefully Rubber Soul next year, but we will see. But for now, I didn't say the date actually, did I? November 21st is when the album comes out, and November 26th is when the TV series comes out. So that's all very exciting. Anyway, go and pre-order that if you want, pre-save it on streaming, etc. Anyway, enjoy, have a nice day, and let me know what you think of the remix of Free as a Bird down in the comments. Be interested to hear what other people think of that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on a future video. Ta-da!